He is saying we think too rationally, too statically, too left hemisphere, and this is causing a lot of problems, and we need to reintroduce the right hemisphere, connected, relationship-oriented Gestalt thinking, and this model of both hemispheres roughly coincides with what Persic first called spiritual rationality, which is sensing quality first and then implementing it with the tool of rationality after the fact. Not looking for something in your in your static patterns, not always going to your static patterns and your rationality to understand, to use both sides. Jordan Peterson said something about the two hemispheres. He said that they are two quasi-independent consciousnesses, one of novelty and one of familiarity. Of course, that's really paring it down to bare bones, but there's something in that. So let me play those clips from McGilchrist right now.
It seems to me that at the moment we officially pride ourselves on being a very free-thinking people. I'm going to sound like a terrible fuddy-duddy, but I think the intellectual world was far more open in the 60s and 70s when I grew up than it is today. It's closed down to a number of dogmas. The internet, which is a wonderful thing, hasn't helped because it's possible for people to get trapped in bubbles where they reinforce the things they believe without really hearing other points of view.
What McGilchrist is saying, I think, is that because we are so opinionated, we think we're free thinkers. If you stand back, you look like you can see that we're in these immune systems, these bubbles, meaning we feel like we're free thinking and dynamic because there's so much going on. But we're really dogmatic and rigid, and true free thinking is so rare these days, but you do see it. So watch for people who put, if you're talking about, these bubbles and social media and stuff, look for the people who put their reputations at risk on social media for a greater good, not to stand out, not to be a provocateur, but really because these risks are worth it. There's something greater that they're trying to promote.
I'm a keen proponent that in education, one of the most important things one must do is teach people always to invert everything they believe and see the value in it. In fact, I believe there should be, in government, a department of inverse policy. So whatever the government is proposing, there should be a department that is dedicated to seeing what would happen if we did the precise opposite. And it should be, centrally funded, and I think it would be a very useful exercise. But really, it's an intellectual exercise that we all need to do. If we start being too certain about anything, it means we've missed something else.
A couple passages from this book, Aion, which is so much fun to read. It is not the concept that matters. The concept is only a word, a counter, and that it has meaning and use only because it stands for a certain sum of experience. So that's a little bit more about those two modes of understanding.